Let me tell you about my lowest conviction investment. I hinted at this one earlier. So this is let me just check the scoreboard. This is a 6x return for me in my King of the Jungle portfolio, and it's a 5% allocation. It's one of the only things I've trimmed in the King of the Jungle. I very rarely sell. I have trimmed this one there. I've trimmed it much more aggressively in my real money portfolio. But let me tell you about Palantir Technologies, ticker PLTR. It's a hard to get your head around company, but I'm just going to try and explain it really simply. They do data integration and data analytics. So you've got all these other companies, might be hospitals, might be like Operation Warp Speed, where they're trying to roll out coronavirus vaccines all across the US. They're trying to, and battlefields, like military environments, complex logistics, any company that's got like a massive data, which is just messy, and you want to get insights out of that data to make it better, like Palantir is like the cream of the tools to do that. And as the world transitions to AI, if you build your AI through AIP, Palantir's AI platform, you're deploying like industry standard models like OpenAI's and Anthropic's and Gemini. You're deploying those in a much more controlled manner where you have it hosted and it's protected, it's your private data, and it's auditable, and you have much more control over the decisions that are taken as a consequence of that data. And you can go back and you can look at why certain decisions were taken and what decisions were taken by the AI and what were taken by the human in oversight, and you can audit that. So if you're serious about deploying AI in your organization and you're sitting on like a mess of disparate data, like use AIP, and it's going to make that much easier to deploy, to operate, and to govern, because AI is kind of a scary thing for a lot of companies to implement. So it's kind of what they do. It's as simple as that. They used to be initially like more like a military segment, but now commercial revenue, like businesses in North America, are the biggest growing segment, which grew 71% year over year, and it's now $1 billion annual run rate. But government revenue, which is mostly military stuff, is also growing well and is over $800 million on a run rate. The big risk to Palantir, though, and the reason why it only gets a paltry 2 badges out of 10 from me, is the frankly insane valuation. This stock trades at a massive premium to peers. You forget the PE. There's no point even looking at it. It makes no sense. But on a price to sales value, or like an enterprise value to sales, it's above 100 times sales. Like, you could operate this company and you could keep every single dollar that it generates for the next 100 years, and you'd only just recover the market cap. Like, where is the return for investors? I have no idea, right? It's, obviously the company is going to continue to grow, like it's valued, like it's going to continue to grow at an crazy, crazy pace. There is an argument here, and this is why I've not sold it completely, and I'd probably always keep an allocation to this, but I'm keeping it very constrained in my real money portfolio just because of that valuation.
Has there ever been a company with this kind of insane valuation for which it ended well for the investor? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah,
I don't think
but
it's ever
yeah,
happened because, like you're saying, it
right.
just defies the law of gravity. So, from that angle, I would say this is an immediate sell. The only thing that I could counter argue on your behalf is to say, well, but we've never seen something like AI before, which
Yeah.
is the kind of, exponential thing happening. So maybe this is the only time in history where a company could potentially end up justifying this kind of insane valuation if everything goes right. And if the exponential thing happens, then you get to a merely expensive company instead of one that inevitably will crash. So still, I would recommend a complete sell because
Like I say one thing I guarantee, right? So I'm going to make like a 1 minute social media short out of each of these 30 companies, which is why we've been like the way we've done it, the way we have over the last 4 hours of recording. I guarantee when I put this short out and I close it by saying like the egregious valuation, it is going to get so much hate because companies like this, dumb money, you won't hear this, you dumb money people who are so committed and are so overexposed because you're only going to listen to the 60-second short and say, oh, these guys are idiots. If you listen to the full episode, you're crazy having a big allocation to a company like this for exactly the reasons Christoph just said. But like, I'm riding on your coattails of the dumb money because they're going to keep pumping this stuff to 200 times sales. And I mean, it is objectively, it is growing, like commercial revenue up 70% plus year over year. It's growing great, but the numbers still don't make sense.
This is where I would beg anyone listening to us that has not yet, thrown rotten bananas at us. There is a key distinction between finding a truly world-class, excellent company, which this appears to be one, and the stock as an investor. I mean, it's that simple. And there's the old adage, don't marry a stock. And I think some people, when they find a truly excellent company like this, and especially get in early, and there's this immense amount of pride and like success and money made, and the future is very bright, it's so hard to say, okay, it's time to cut ties because it just won't end well. So anyway, maybe we'll return. Yeah, we'll return to this in a year's time and be wrong, but I highly doubt that.
That's a really good distinction you've made there because it is really good as an investor to love a company and really believe in the mission and what it's doing. It's really bad as an investor to love a stock, right? If the underlying, even if the underlying company is decent, if you fall in love with the stock, you're just asking to have your heart broken.
I see a lot of heartbreak coming up for these investors, but
But hey, like, I've ridden this to a 6x return in my real money portfolio and my King of the Jungle portfolio. I've got enough of an allocation. I'm probably going to trim it again soon. I've got enough of an allocation that I'm still going to make bank out of this. I don't believe in the term in the idea of house money, but if you did believe in that, like, I'm playing with like a lot of house equity here. I've taken my money out multiple times over.
yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that concept actually, but that's for another day. But good job so far on buying when you did. I think it's a mistake if you don't actually outright sell it all. That's Monkey's take.
Oh,